I think this is what old people do. They just sit around and go, uh, yeah. Yesterday, in the news today, uh, yesterday I went fishing and caught me a bass, two bass. Actually, I hooked up with two bass. I hooked up with one bass and I caught it. And then I hooked up with another bass right after that bass, but I didn't catch that one. And and then I caught a shell cracker. Yeah. And today's Friday, and I want to talk about something, but then I forgot what I was talking about. I drew a wave. I don't know if it's a non-binary wave, but it's a wave. And then I want to talk about this thing. I picked this up, and I'm really trying to quit this stuff. I don't seem to have much of a life outside of fishing, vaping, and lifting weights and playing video games, which is probably every man's dream. To be able to just sit at home and not have to go frickin' work, man. My working years, in a sense, was somewhat traumatic. I've talked about, on a more serious note, without joking around and stuff, which I always do. On a serious note, when I went in the Marine Corps in 1981, I was a completely lost soul. I had no idea what to do with my life. And then they kind of molded me into this guy that was, sir, yes, sir, and all this other crap, which I did. I mean, I played the game, showed up, had to go on orders, and then go to different states to freaking arrive on time at my duty station and do all that stuff. And then I lived in Japan for a couple of years as a Marine. Worked over there with the Fleet Mail Center. And then I went in the Navy. I did 2 years with the Special Boat Unit called SBU 13. It's stationed in Coronado, California, North Island. Worked there for a couple of years as a reservist, and got to fire M60 machine guns off Seafox boats, which was fun. I love doing that stuff. Everybody loved doing it. It was a lot of fun. I think a few seagulls might have been. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. And then working. Then when I went to electrical school in the 1990s. I went to electrical school in 1998. I started in 1998, and then I graduated in 2002. Spent 8,000 hours in the field just to graduate as an electrician. So, to anybody that's younger and stuff and thinks everything's like, everything's so screwed up. Why do I have to do this job at Walmart? People are driving me crazy. I would suggest doing something that to you would have some kind of meaning, not so much about the money, but has some kind of purpose, like gives you some kind of sense of fulfillment. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, screw this, and then you're going to go on to another job. For me, being a Marine was the start of actually being in some type of environment where I felt like I was valued. And I felt actually, I guess the word would be like you have a sense of pride about you when you serve as a Marine. I remember the boot camp, graduation at boot camp, and I just felt so proud. I mean, there's just a feeling. It's almost like the butterflies you get in your stomach when you go down like a roller coaster. You get this weird feeling. And I think a lot of people, well, I think we've lost that kind of feeling of excitement, you know. But I remember it well as a Marine. I remember feeling extremely proud. And then, but you know, so that's, I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's kind of what I was thinking as an old man advice that I would give at this stage of my life, where feeling like you're undervalued. There's a lot of things where people will say, you know, develop some kind of a victim mentality, which is kind of, in a way, it's understandable, because if you develop the victim mentality, you don't have to be responsible for anything. It's not my fault. Yeah. I just got caught with $170,000 worth of fentanyl in my car, but it's, you know, it's not my fault. You know, jobs didn't pay. I had to make some money. So my advice, I guess, you know, because I see a lot of videos where people have gone down the beaten path of basically no return, where, you know, usually it's about money, where people will feel like I have nowhere to turn, so I'm just going to sell these drugs, and then I'm going to try to make some money, and then everything's going to be great, and blah blah blah. But the reality is that, you know, 9 times out of 10, that will never ever work out for you, because there's always a smarter tool in the shed, you know. And the same would apply, I think, with you know, if you're going to go to the store and you're going to, you know, you got this great plan where you're going to steal, like, you know, you're going to steal a gaming computer, you're going to steal, like, you know, all the stuff you need for your house. It's going to be great. That never works either, because I remember as an electrician, we installed a lot of stuff, cameras. We would install the wires for cameras, all the wiring devices, alarms, fire alarm signals, fire alarm devices, strobe devices. Those are the things that go woo, you know, start going off when you're in a building and it's a fire breaks out. You hear those strobes go off, then the lights go on and everything. But everything's all tied together. Every building is all tied together with the same type of security measures. So, you know, and as far as they have things called, like, it's security, but it's like an IT room. So it's, you know, where you would go in and basically somebody's monitoring the cameras, watching every move, you know, people make in the store. But there's a system that creates that environment. That system I used to be a part of, where I would work and install devices and pull wire. Sometimes I'm working all night, you know, to get these things done. And there's no real, you know, it amazes me how I don't want to say stupid, but naive people can be, where they think, like, if I'm walking into a store, nobody's going to see me, and I'll just freaking grab this, and yeah, it'd be all right, dude, and then we'll head out the door. But yeah, that does not work. And believe me, I know, just from my training, and both in the service and as an electrician, is that, and also worked fire alarms and security. So these are things that are just, it's kind of it's pointless to try to steal and think you're going to get away with it, you know, especially at the big box stores, because they invest millions and millions and millions of dollars in their security systems. So you're not going to be able to bypass that. There's no way. But as far as, like, you know, people that feel like they're not valued, I would definitely pursue something that you find, like, that would be interesting, you know. Like, my days are over as far as all that go. I don't really pursue anything anymore. As far as working, my resume would state that I could pretty much do anything I want. I could probably get any kind of a job, but I don't want a job anymore. I just don't. just don't want to do it. But if you were younger, say you're like in your 20s, even 30s, I would say go for it, Find something. Even the service wasn't that bad, But then if you get jacked up, then you can always get health care for life. They'll always take care of you. Try to keep you alive for as long as, I mean, I don't know for what, but they will try to do what they can to keep you alive. If you end up sick later on in life, even the military will have, certain ratings and stuff where you basically get paid the rest of your life. And then they give you give older people got to take medications, so they give you medications, do your blood work and all that stuff, and keep monitoring on a lot of different things. Eyesight, dental is a whole different thing. It's really hard to get dental. You can't really get any dental work done through the VA unless you're 100% disabled. But anyway, those are just a few old man, I guess you'd call them old man freaking advice that I have for younger people. And yeah, all right. Thanks for watching. Keep fishing and stay happy.